NBIA, Natural BioScience Intelligence Agency. The science is real. The mission is yours.
Steele. I'm at the Jessup Hub. Fresh and simple. Private label. 12 pallets staged for metro distribution. Apples, strawberries, grapes. Residue strips confirm chlorpyrifos on all 3. Concentrations elevated. These aren't day 1 product. This is day 9.
9 days in. Residue testing was done on day 1.
1,200 stores, 38 states. The primary buyer's demographic is 55 plus, fixed income, organic price point is out of reach.
And their acetylcholinesterase activity is already declining. What chlorpyrifos does to a 55-year-old brain is not a new disease process. It is acceleration of one already underway. This compound is in non-organic apples, strawberries, pears, peaches, nectarines, and grapes across every major conventional produce line in this country. Fresh and simple is not the anomaly. It is the norm with a private label on it. Biochemistry is indifferent to opinion. It does not care what the produce aisle looks like. It cares what the enzyme says. The solution is also real and specific. You'll have it before this episode ends. 72 hours earlier, Geneva.
50 years of acetylcholinesterase decline curves, mapped against residential pesticide exposure registries. The correlation has been sitting here for decades, published in fragments. Never assembled into a form the general public was meant to read. In a population with normal aging, acetylcholinesterase activity declines measurably after 55. The enzyme that clears acetylcholine from synapses, the molecule of attention, memory, muscle control, degrades. It is gradual. It is expected. It is already the same enzymatic deficit that characterizes early Alzheimer's pathology. Chlorpyrifos doesn't create that deficit. It finds it, and it accelerates it. The person attributes the cognitive change to age. The produce receipt is in their recycling bin.
Frost, the formulator's operation.
The fresh and simple private label produce line. National grocery chain. Second highest revenue SKU in the produce department across 1,200 stores in 38 states. Positioned as affordable and wholesome. No health claims, which means no substantiation required. Sourced from conventional farms where chlorpyrifos application is standard practice. Point-of-sale residue testing is performed at the distributor level on day 1 of a 14-day shelf cycle. Chlorpyrifos residue concentrations measurably increase as produce ages on the shelf. The testing window and the consumption window do not overlap. The primary shoppers of this line are adults over 55 on fixed incomes. He didn't engineer the compound. He ensured it stayed in the supply chain, serving the population least able to metabolically clear it.
What does least able to metabolically clear it mean specifically?
Think of your body's detoxification system as a municipal water treatment plant. When the plant is new and running at full capacity, it filters contaminants efficiently before they reach homes. As the plant ages and maintenance is deferred, its filtration capacity drops not to 0, but measurably. The same volume of contaminant now takes longer to clear, and some gets through. What chlorpyrifos does in a 55-plus body is arrive at a treatment plant that's already running below capacity. Here's the mechanism. Chlorpyrifos is an organophosphate. Its primary mechanism is irreversible inhibition of acetylcholinesterase, the enzyme that breaks down acetylcholine at neural synapses. It achieves this by covalently bonding to the serine residue of the enzyme's active site. Once bonded, permanent. That enzyme unit no longer functions. New enzyme must be synthesized to replace it. In adults over 55, 2 things are simultaneously true. First, acetylcholinesterase synthesis rate declines with age. The body produces less replacement enzyme. Second, the NRF2 detoxification pathway, the master regulator of the body's endogenous toxin-clearing enzyme systems, undergoes what researchers call NRF2 exhaustion. The body's ability to neutralize environmental toxins like organophosphate metabolites degrades precisely as lifetime exposure accumulates.
What the longitudinal data shows is that the cognitive acceleration is not dramatic. It doesn't present as poisoning. It presents as aging slightly faster than expected. The person notices it at 62 when they can't find a word they used every day at 58. They do not connect it to the apples.
Countermeasure. Frost.
Sulforaphane. Formed when glucoraphanin present in high concentrations in broccoli sprouts contacts the enzyme myrosinase upon mechanical disruption of the cell wall. The activation mechanism is chewing. The compound is not preformed in the plant. The plant makes it on contact. Sulforaphane is the most potent known dietary activator of the NRF2 transcription pathway. It directly reverses NRF2, exhaustion-restoring phase 2 detoxification enzyme activity, glutathione S-transferase, NQO1, which conjugate the TCP metabolites of chlorpyrifos and route them to urinary excretion. Simultaneously, sulforaphane crosses the blood-brain barrier, one of very few dietary compounds confirmed to do so, and activates neuroprotective gene expression in hippocampal and prefrontal tissue.
If the countermeasure is broccoli, why aren't the people eating broccoli protected?
Because the compound is not in the broccoli most people eat. 3-day-old broccoli sprouts contain 20 to 50 times more glucoraphanin than mature broccoli heads. 1 tablespoon of sprouts delivers what would require 2 pounds of mature broccoli to match. The Johns Hopkins team calculated this specifically because they understood the therapeutic dose needed to be accessible. It is... Nobody told you...
Deploying to the field. 48 hours later, Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health, Baltimore. Frost. I'm at the Hopkins greenhouse. 3-day sprouts confirmed. Glucoraphanin concentration?
At 72 hours of growth, glucoraphanin concentration peaks. This is the exact window the Talalay protocol identified. After 72 hours, concentration begins to decline as the plant matures. The window is not approximate, it is 72 hours.
And this can be grown at home.
In a mason jar, on a kitchen counter, seeds, water, drainage. The full cycle from seed to therapeutic dose in 72 hours. Material cost, under $1 per week. The Johns Hopkins team calculated accessibility as a design criterion. The therapeutic dose had to be within reach of anyone. It is...
Steele. I have the countermeasure.
N3. Confirms systemic absorption timeline for sulforaphane ingestion to blood-brain barrier penetration.
Sulforaphane absorbed in small intestine within 30 minutes post-ingestion. Peak plasma concentration at 1 to 2 hours. Confirmed blood-brain barrier penetration in both human and animal models. Hippocampal and prefrontal NRF2 activation detectable within 3 hours of ingestion. Phase 2 enzyme induction sustained 48 to 72 hours per dose.
Confirmed. Frost begin molecular sequence.
Chewing disrupts the sprout cell wall. Glucoraphanin contacts myrosinase. Conversion is immediate, enzymatic, mechanical. Sulforaphane is formed in the mouth within seconds of the first bite. The activation mechanism is the act of eating. Small intestine, 30 minutes. Sulforaphane is absorbed, one of the fastest absorbing dietary bioactives ever measured. It enters portal circulation, distributes systemically. Crosses the hepatic barrier, enters bloodstream at therapeutic concentration within the hour. The blood-brain barrier, a wall that most dietary compounds cannot cross. Sulforaphane crosses it. It is confirmed in human studies. It moves into hippocampal and prefrontal tissue, the regions showing earliest decline in both pesticide-associated cognitive impairment and age-related neurodegeneration. Inside the aging brain, the NRF2 pathway has been running in suppressed state. KEAP1, its molecular cage, holds NRF2 in the cytoplasm, unable to act. Sulforaphane disrupts the KEAP1 bond. NRF2 is released. It translocates to the nucleus. It finds the antioxidant response element, a genetic switch, and activates it. Over 200 cytoprotective proteins synthesize simultaneously. Glutathione surges in hippocampal neurons, the first antioxidant defense, now restored. Phase 2 enzymes, glutathione S-transferase, NQO1, conjugate the TCP metabolites of chlorpyrifos, route them toward urinary excretion. The compound that has been maintaining the neural static begins to clear. New acetylcholinesterase is synthesized. The irreversibly bonded enzyme is replaced. Synaptic transmission begins to normalize. The clearance is not instant. But the rate accelerates measurably within 72 hours.
For a person who has been eating non-organic produce for 30 years, this is not a small thing. This is the first time the system has had what it needed to fight back.
Operation Silent Frequency. Target neutralized.
Confirmed. Countermeasure is accessible. Cost, Under $1 a week. Time to therapeutic dose, 72 hours. The mechanism does not ask your age. It works harder precisely because the system has been running depleted.
Residue testing gap is structural, not regulatory failure. The testing window will not close without economic pressure on the supply chain. What individuals can close is their own exposure window. Grow the sprouts. Eat them raw. The enzyme requires the crunch.
Longitudinal projection. Sustained sulforaphane intake in adults over 55 measurably slows the acetylcholinesterase decline curve. Not reversal of damage already done. Deceleration of damage continuing to accumulate. That is a different outcome at 75 than the one currently projected.
Bone mineral displacement confirmed at 1/8-month follow-up. The calcium interference runs upstream of absorption, not at the receptor. Fortification is the delivery system. Scaling through the senior nutrition category. The demographic cannot read the mechanism on the label, and we are not required to put it there.
He's already moving.
Calcium interference upstream of absorption. He's not targeting the receptor. He's targeting the mechanism before it reaches the receptor. That's a different class of operation.
Bone mineral displacement in the senior nutrition category. Fortification as delivery system. The next population is already consuming it. Operation Calcium Protocol is authorized. Ghost identify the longitudinal bone density datasets. Frost, I need the mechanism before morning. Viper, find the product.
Everything you're about to hear has been published in peer-reviewed research. I'm going to give you the mechanism, the study, and the exact dose in plain language. Sulforaphane is formed when you chew broccoli sprouts. The chewing breaks open the plant cell, bringing glucoraphanin into contact with myrosinase. The compound forms immediately. It is absorbed in the small intestine within 30 minutes, one of the fastest absorbing dietary bioactives ever measured. It enters your bloodstream, crosses the blood-brain barrier, and finds a pathway in your brain called NRF2, your master antioxidant and detoxification switch, which in adults over 55 has been progressively suppressed by age and accumulated oxidative stress. Sulforaphane releases NRF2 from its molecular cage, drives it into the cell nucleus, and activates a genetic switch that commands synthesis of over 200 cytoprotective proteins. Glutathione rises in hippocampal neurons. Phase 2 enzymes clear organophosphate metabolites, including the chlorpyrifos breakdown product TCP, and route them to urinary excretion. New acetylcholinesterase is synthesized to replace enzyme units permanently disabled by pesticide exposure. The clearance is not instant. It is measurable within 72 hours. Houghton et al. 2016, published in Oxidative Medicine and Cellular Longevity. Sulforaphane from broccoli sprout extract produced significant NRF2 pathway activation and measurable increases in glutathione and phase 2 detoxification enzyme activity within 72 hours of supplementation, with confirmed blood-brain barrier penetration in both human and animal studies. A separate analysis, No et al. 2021, published in Antioxidants, confirmed that sulforaphane specifically reverses age-associated NRF2 pathway suppression. The therapeutic effect is strongest in the population where the pathway has been most depleted. That is the 55-plus population. Therapeutic range, 40 to 60 milligrams of sulforaphane daily. Achievable with approximately 1 cup of fresh 3-day broccoli sprouts grown in a mason jar on your kitchen counter in 72 hours for under $1 a week, or a standardized broccoli sprout extract. Supplement. The detail the industry doesn't want you to know. Cooking destroys myrosinase. Steamed broccoli produces a fraction of the sulforaphane of raw sprouts. The mechanism requires the enzyme. The enzyme requires the crunch. And the crunch costs less than $1 a week to grow yourself.